Good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. And I've noticed I am dark on my left side. Could you turn that light on real quick, sweetie? That's slightly better. Perfect.
I'm going to do the light behind you.
Yeah, go do your thing. That's your thing is awesome. All right, today, I think that's way too much. I didn't want that. I just wanted that. Thank you, sweetie. All right, today, like we're clearly organized. Today, I am doing Edna Mode. Probably one of the most wonderful characters Pixar has ever done. I just love the fact that she's like this tall. Okay, maybe this tall, but tiny. And she's like the biggest personality in all of The Incredibles, and she's just wonderful. Which is funny because like that real snotty kinda artist type, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't have anything against him. Just like, but she was done just right. She's really very funny.
Well, she was the quintessential fashion designer lady who's been in her game for so long. She knows everything about everything.
Oh, sure, and that's why I liked her.
And that's why she succeeded, because she knows what she was doing, and she's very confident in what she's doing. And she was awesome because of that. And also, she had you can tell she was just like the walnut with like the squishy center.
Sure. Well, what I love is she's this wonderful like yin to Elastigirl's yang. Like they're physically absolute opposites. And where Elastigirl should be mighty, she isn't. That's where Edna Mode is mighty, and it's just hilarious. You know, like she just rolls over Elastigirl in these scenes, and Elastigirl's like this big soft cream puff when things that like emotionally go wrong, and Edna Mode ain't having nothing to do with that crap. It's just so funny. Oh man, love Edna Mode.
Let's see. Looks like our chat up there is not going properly, but Joe is watching with
Oh.
us.
Hey Joe, and as a matter of fact, I don't think my other chat is going. Yeah, keep an eye on the chat for me. And all my chat stuff, as usual, is not acting properly.
I don't think it's normally it would pop up with a different message than that. This is welcome to chat room, not question about Ross.
Well, I also like on this one, and I have a secondary one. I love Restream Streamlabs, which is what I'm using here.
Yeah.
But they have two separate ones, which to me makes 0 sense. Streamlabs.
So yeah,
Hey Joe, how's it going?
glad to see you with us again, bro.
We're doing Edna Mode today.
And
Edna Mode.
gobble, 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 gobble.
Yeah, I just it was funny earlier today. I picked her out, and then for whatever reason, it just occurred to me that I never thought, what is she like in a romantic relationship? That has got to be an insight on her personality to see that, you know. Just I don't know if she's like, you know, what she's like. I assume she's something like she is, like in her normal mode. Mode.
I'm gonna say she's pretty much domineering, and no matter what she does.
That's kind of my guess too. But I'm just kind of going like, and I'm not even assuming where her romantic interests lie. Just what is it like? I mean, does she go for tall, short, smart? I'm assuming she goes for smart.
My headcanon,
What if she goes for like those stupid pool
that's
boys?
what I'm saying. My headcanon is this: that she literally is because you live for the now, darling.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
She picks out whatever gets her eye, and that's it. And afterwards,
She's too powerful to to have any one person in
Yeah,
her life.
and after
Yeah.
she's done, she gives them their due, and then she's off to Milan, darling, or wherever she's
Milan.
going. And afterwards, she's like, when the itch needs to be scratched again, wash, rinse, repeat. Which in her clothing is probably not so. Or actually, maybe reasonable cotton.
Everything's dry clean. Everything is
Except-
dry
well,
clean.
Except for Jack suit. She said, remember, it's washable. That's a new feature.
Well, because it's a baby. Babies poop on themselves. But I'm talking about her. I'm thinking everything's dry clean and very persnickety.
You know, I wouldn't. Persnickety probably. Dry clean, I'm not too sure, because with all the stuff and the secrets that she has, unless she has a dry cleaning facility in her.
Yeah,
her
do
house,
you
which
saw
is
her
prob-
lab?
Which I'm gonna guess probably does.
She probably has like laser dry clean.
That's true.
I
Yeah,
mean-
yeah. So I'm going to guess that she's probably not a super, but the fact that she's just so
Well, she's one of
like
the brain types.
She's the best in her area.
Yeah, she's a Batman.
No, I wouldn't say
If
she-
Batman was a
but see,
fashionista.
no, she's not a Batman. She is.
Yeah, he is. All rich and smart mighty.
Well, she's not doing the stuff. She's more.
Well, she's doing her stuff.
She's not. I will say she's not Alfred. She's more. She's kind of no, not even Alfred. No, she's support.
She's Mr. Fantastic.
No, she's
Without the stretching. She's a jerk and she's smart.
No, she's Lucius Fox. If you're gonna use Batman, and he was the rich guy that basically built all of Wayne Tech and
Sure.
built the Batmobile.
Lucius!
Which kind of really Lucius. Hey there, but hey, Speedy. There has to be a Samuel L. Jackson line when they if there is, I'm gonna be disappointed when they were doing The Incredibles. They call me Lucius because that's like luscious.
Nice. Luscious what?
Hey Joe, he's drawing Edna Mode from The Incredibles today.
Darling. I still thought that I would watch. I would almost watch a movie with her. I'm not sure what you could do exactly with her for a movie, but she's just fun. I've always loved her. Got a thing for strong female characters, and the thing about her is there would be virtually no physical action. I'd like to, that could be really good depending upon, what the plot of the movie was. It's just a Pixar movie called Maud.
Yeah.
Maud. Oh, there we go. We got Joe finally showing up.
Not sure what you mean by 8, Joe.
Am I going to ink it? I think that's perhaps. Well, if you're asking if I'm going to ink it, probably not. But I am starting to do finished illustrations of some of these. Right now I just concentrate on the pure sketchy goodness. And then I've had a number of them I've started to do full color illustrations of. 3 of them at this point, and they're turning out pretty well. I just don't have them quite done yet.
I don't think I'm not sure we weren't talking about
Keep thinking I'm lining.
no, we were referring to basically who Edna Mode would be in a comic book world. And I was saying she would be more Lucius Fox
Yeah.
to Batman.
Well, when I was saying that she was a Batman type, I was meaning that she was a normal human with extraordinary, like, will-based abilities. And when I say Batman, I usually also include a certain level of mental disbalance. I still say Batman's got some mental issues. I don't care what anyone says. Something's wrong with him, and I love him to death, but something is wrong with that character.
Well, I mean, there's post-traumatic stress disorder. There is, I know that, but I don't think we were referencing her or anything. Not sure.
Ink was a fun character. Though.
Yeah. I love her voice, and she had a really great voice actress. Yeah, Batman Beyond was one of those shows that was, it was good, and it was before its time.
It was really before its time. A lot of people, when it was out, did not understand what was happening.
And those of us who did, we absolutely loved it. And I mean,
well, I didn't even fully, because I didn't see enough of it early on. That was kind of my problem. Is that happened when I was in college, and I didn't have a ton of time or access to television to catch everything. And what I caught, I was kind of on the fence because I wasn't catching enough of. But then later with Batman Beyond, when I did catch it, I was like, this is really good.
I'm trying to figure out how did I catch it, because I know I watched quite a bit of it, and I loved it. The theme song is just one of the best theme songs in modern cartoon, in my
it was a good one.
It was really, really good. They did a bunch of really great stuff with that. So, yeah. I was actually thinking about the Batman animated series, because apparently there is a new DC comic book that's continuing from the animated series cartoon. I actually picked that up when I went to the comic shop for the first time in like 4 months yesterday. But I haven't read through it yet, because it's currently sitting in the do not pick me up until in our two-day max chill out box. But it's keeping the style of the original animated series and stuff like that. But yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was just going through a lot of like my favorite episodes and how I would love to see it again. Because I know we got like what, volume 1 of the DVD set?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Well, it's over with their DVDs.
Yeah. I can't remember if they released the entire series on Blu-ray or not, but I think they did. But that's one of the ones I've been wanting to pick up, because I just want to rewatch it again, because it was just such a great series. And then they switched off to Batman and Robin, and they added Batgirl in for a bit, which wasn't too bad. They did a little bit of a stylistic change. Wasn't too keen on it, but it kind of kept the original feel. One of my favorite episodes is actually from when they did the Batman and Robin Adventures, is when Batgirl died, and that was a fantastic episode.
It's funny. I was kind of being a snotty teen, I think, because when they switched over to Batman and Robin, it was me just in the last year of me living at home with my parents. And I really, really, because I wanted good animated series, and of the American stuff at that time, Batman was one of the few. And then when Batman and Robin happened, the first episode I saw, Robin came in and started beating somebody with a fish, which you probably remember. And I just had such a short temper with American animation. At that time, I just never watched another episode. I'm like, if you're going to treat the show like this, I just literally stopped watching.
See, I thought that was from the original series.
No, Robin was not in the original series.
He was around doing the...
Yeah, but if Robin was in it, it would not have been the original series. He wasn't in the original series.
Yeah, he was. The original Batman animated series.
Was he? I remember, all the stuff I remember was just Batman.
No, he was the...
Was he?
Older. He was the older... Because that's when thanks for serving my bacon, Robin.
And fighting Mr. Freeze. Yeah, I don't remember Robin being in the original. It was just Batman, the animated series.
Oh, hey James. James is watching with us too. Hey James.
Hey James, how's it going?
Yeah, because it was the Tim Drake story, the Dick story.
Well, I think I remembered him being like in it limited, but I'm talking all the time. I don't remember
No,
him.
he wasn't in it all the time. He made.
I remember him being in
appearances.
it in a limited capacity, yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, he had appearances and stuff, but yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah,
in
that's what I
Yeah.
remember. I don't remember him being a permanent fixture in the show, which was Batman and Robin.
Right, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The one with the fish, that was the original animated series.
Was it? God, it must have been. I thought that was Batman. It's been years. I'm probably just getting it wrong.
Yeah, because I remember laughing at that because he was like nunchucking, and it was funny because they were in the fish market.
Well, I was just getting. I was trying not to be a snob. I clearly failed. However, I was really tired of because there was so much American just junk animation happening at that time, and the few good things were really good, but the rest of it, I was getting a real short fuse because I was seeing a lot of anime just whooping the crap out of us. That's fortunately changed, but
Yeah, he's in the later seasons. Yeah. Joe says in later seasons, and then James it was Batman. Then it changed to appeal to more kids, adding Robin in season 3. Then season 4 had Tim Drake. Yeah.
you guys are remembering it way clearer than I am.
Yeah, because season 3 they brought in Dick Grayson because they showed the whole. They had the one episode with the flying Graysons.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that one. So I was cool. It was cool when the story was good. But the moment it started hinting like the fish nunchucks, I was like, look, if this is a silly series, I would have been all over it. But it was Batman. Like, I was wanting it to get more serious. I was like,
Hey, Cat's with us too.
hey, how's it going?
Says Jim says, what about Batman Superman Adventures?
To be honest, I don't think it was. I had access to that at the time, so I didn't really see a lot of it.
I think I saw a couple of them. I thought they were all right.
I remember seeing a little bit of early Batman or Superman, and
Superman was
it was
good.
so bright and shiny. I just didn't get into it at the time. But I kind of want to go back because I love the elements from that show that was in the Justice League stuff that happened later. The Justice League stuff I loved. That was.
Batman Superman Adventures. Yeah, I very vaguely remember that because I think that's when they switched over to WB stuff.
Sounds about right, but I'm getting real foggy on those details at this point.
Yeah, then they had the Superman Adventures were I liked that. They had some really great stories with that.
Well, I love, as I said, I love the stuff that came later. So maybe that series was a lot of fun. I just never saw it.
Yeah,
I saw like an episode, and that was about it.
Well, it was. Like I said, that's when they went to Kids WB, which was WGN, and so a lot of that stuff was cable only. And I know I didn't have cable, and I think a lot of that I watched when I would come over to you guys' place, and it would just pop on, and I'd watch it there. And then I think we caught a lot of the repeats when we moved up here, and we were catching a lot of the stuff because that's when they had a lot of the. But yeah, I remember catching a lot of it, or catching a few episodes, because they were doing that, and that's when they started doing Justice League, and then they were having success with that, so they started doing a bunch of other DC properties, the Legion of Superheroes.
Never saw any.
That was actually pretty good. It got real good towards the end, and that's when the Warner Brothers animation studio just imploded and went away, which was sad because they had a lot of really good shows that they were working on. But yeah, Legion was again more geared towards all ages, more towards the older all ages, or I should say middle all ages. So like
I usually find that's a good balance to hit.
Yeah, the young readers area.
Sure.
And yeah, but it started out a little slow. Middle had some good steam, and then towards the end it got really good, and then gone. I love Bouncing Boy, and And Matter Eater Lad was hilarious.
Matter Eater Lad.
Matter Eating Lad. He came from a planet called Bismol, and food was so
Fair enough.
and food was so scarce that they
They
had,
evolved to eat everything.
Yes, literally.
Marvelous.
So that he could pretty much eat and metabolize anything. So
Not many villains left after he's done.
In Matter Eater Land. Joe asked, Eric, what do you think about the old filmation New Adventures of Batman and New Adventures of Superman? The old filmation stuff. Of
Oh,
those.
wow. Remind me as to exactly which one that is.
The New Adventures of Batman, New Adventures of Superman, old filmation.
Because I was about to say, it sounds familiar. Which,
Stuff?
there's so many versions, I'm starting to lose track of them. Yeah, you show me a visual, sweetie, so I can... I remember better visually than I do through names.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Because it sounds like I should know this.
Yes. Give me 1 second. Ah. These guys. Well, that guy. The Superman one.
Oh, shoot.
That's
Like
not-
like the
I've
set
never-
like the 70s, early 80s stuff.
That's
60s?
Yeah.
Shoot.
I've never seen
I have seen clips, but I can't personally talk a lot about those because I haven't.
Originally from 1966 to 1970.
Okay, there's a little
Superman.
hole in my.
And then the New
I hate to say it, dude. I think there's a hole in my knowledge on this one.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff, but not well enough to talk about it.
And then let's see, Batman, Adventures of Batman. That one was 1977. Only had one season.
Same year as Scooby-Doo's Laugh Olympics.
Well, there you go. That's the reason.
Okay, so that would be the stuff where they started mixing it in with the.
Oh, geez, that's the stuff they had like is that? Oh, jeez.
Okay, that was just pre. That was just pre Super Friends.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that stuff. Now I'm getting it. I remembered that stuff. I watched it when I was very young, and I remember enjoying it. And I've got some of them on DVD that I rewatched. I think they're charming and they're fun. But that sort of blast from the past kind of stuff where you go, wow, this is really fun. Let me throw in Super Friends kind of a thing, because the stories were like super simple, which is fine. They had like, I think they had like Black Vault and stuff, if I remember correctly. Which was awesome, but I don't have a ton of it, so I just kind of go like, I've seen a few, it's fun. Has that, what I like is that kind of wonderful 70s cheap / charming look,
Filmation.
which is Filmation, yeah, which is, I'm not judging, but it does have that quick, get it out onto TV as fast as possible look, which is nice. Which obviously, like Scooby-Doo's Laugh Olympics kind of stuff. Yeah, I ain't hating on it because I love. As a matter of fact, Scooby-Doo's Laugh Olympics I think was actually cheaper. That Laugh Olympics is so cheap. You actually see markings in the animation cell in the corners where they clearly had the camera when they shot it pulled too far back. And
James says, Legion of Superheroes is pretty cool. I love the Superman animated. Definitely give it another chance. It's brighter and more optimistic on the whole than Batman, but that's what
yeah,
made
it would have to be.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I liked it. Thought it was a good series. Loved Tim Daly doing that, and I love the
Yeah,
fact.
Tim Daly was Superman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he would. I remember him
he-
doing a great job on Superman.
I mean, he did all the Superman voices through the entire
Yeah, Justice
run.
League and all
yeah.
that. Yeah, no, I like that voice a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he was Superman to a generation, just as Batman was.
Well, the animated characters' voices have been better, in my opinion, than. And no, it's no offense to the actors that have come later, the live-action actors, but the animated stuff to me really defined Batman and Superman better. And it's no offense to the live action movies and stuff. They all deserve some respect.
Yeah.
But the
Kevin-
animated stuff, I felt, just got the spirit and the voices down, and the characters were more real to me.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I like Adam West, Kevin Conroy is my Batman.
Kevin Conroy, that to me, that's like to me is saying, the other James Bond actors were great, but I love Sean Connery.
Yep.
It's that simple. It's like, oh, everyone's great. They all have their different charms. Sean Connery. You know.
With said one of the old Looney Tunes with Yosemite Sam when he goes to see the high diver Fearless Fruit. Well, that's my boy. Sean Connery. That's my boy.
Quickly followed by Roger Moore, because he was really good in a couple of them. He really was. I don't care how hokey and cheesy and silly some of those got. They were fun.
See, I came in on the James Bond train way later than you. As a matter of fact, it was because
I was
of
kind of
you.
raised on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was because of you that I came in on it. So for me, I liked Sean Connery. Thought he was all right. But for me,
Well, I just love that 60s feel to the spy stuff, so.
and my brain just completely flopped on what I was saying. Anyway.
I think you came in at the Pierce Brosnan era.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I came in. Yeah, because we went. Yeah, that was actually one of our first date movies
Yeah.
together. Was
It was Goldeneye or something.
Yeah. Joe says, can be as charming as 60s Justice League of America, where Superman said to Green Lantern, "You go deal with the space armada. I'll push back the Earth," only to do a handstand in the middle of nowhere to push the Earth back into place.
I know. That is. I just use the word charming for that. That is just
Oh, he
fun.
said charming.
Yes, charming, and you're right, man. It's just charming and fun.
Well, hey, if we can get live action Superman going around the Earth through
Exactly.
time.
That's just as wonderfully absurd. I'll make time go backwards. And you're just, even as a kid, I was like,
But hey,
What?
he did it out of love.
he
So it was the
did it
power-
out of love.
It was the power of backwards love.
It was the power of backwards love. Alabama love. I guess.
Joe says, I hated Timothy Dalton as James Bond.
I said the same thing. I did. He has two of them. One of them sucks horrifically, which is the first of his movies. The second one actually is quite good. However, I'm not going to take back your opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that I had the same opinion. Then I decided, when I was rewatching all the Bonds in HD, when they started streaming, just to be like, I'm going to go over all the ones that I just don't watch that often. And I'm like, oh, I'm up to the Dalton ones. And I went, okay, there's two of them. Let me watch it. And the second one is... No, I'm sorry. The first one is... I was just like, oh, Jesus. This is hard to watch. Though it had its moments. Had a few moments I really enjoyed.
Kat says that Jim says it wasn't a date because he went to see Goldeneye with you.
Okay, it must have
Which
been
was-
one of the later
Yeah,
ones
because
then.
Goldeneye was 1995, so I wasn't even in Grand Rapids at that time.
Oh, okay. In that case, we must have just seen one of the later ones
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, my brain doesn't work, so
Let's see.
unless it's remembering
Weird
Snagglepuss
facts.
and what's his name?
Mildew Wolf.
Mildew Wolf.
Yeah.
In Laugh a Lot.
Savages.
How? You savages! Oh my God! Every single time he says that, I just sit there just giggling
Make
uncontrollably.
way, you savages.
Out of my way, you savages! It's just so funny. I just sit there, I'm like, I would just watch Laugh Olympics just for him. Everything else is okay. Mildew Wolf, hilarious. Oh, you pack of savages! It's just so funny.
Yeah, I think we probably went to go see The World Is Not Enough.
That could be it, yeah.
Kat says, we must run. Miss you guys. Thanks for stopping in, Kat. Miss you too.
Yeah, thanks,
Love
guys. You have a good one.
Love you.
Yeah, we missed you on vacation. We'll catch you next year. You back of savages. That was a spot. Thank you. Mildew Wolf kills me.
Oh,
He should have been in more stuff. He's so
I'm
funny.
gonna put him on the list of characters you need to draw.
You know, it's. I've been wanting to do something with him. I just could never, because he's so simple. I just was like,
Well, so it's Scrappy, but you made that fun.
yeah, but I drew his whole body. You know.
Well, Mildew has that weird neck. You can do something with that.
Oh, that's true. Could you go get me a quarter now, sweetie? Yeah, you savage.
Someone named Delirium has joined us. Hello, Delirium.
Hey, Delirium, how's it going? We're doing Edna mode today. Which, if you are new, I apologize if I don't recognize the name. I just take this time to practice characters I enjoy drawing, just for the sheer sketchy love of doing so. Mostly because my normal 9-to-5 job does not allow me to do all the characters I would love to do, so I spend my Saturdays doing so. Hey, sweetie. Ah.
Chronicle mostly. Well, glad you can join us.
Oh, no, that's totally cool. Believe me, I get it. I'm doing good. Spent the morning doing some editing on the book, which is just, it just takes forever to get novels done. It just does. I wish it didn't. But it takes forever.
Well, that's part of writing the book.
Yeah, well, it's no ifs, ands, or buts. Right now, it's just doing pure Edna goodness. Oh, darling.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
God, I would. I just love her to death. What I love is Brad Bird just doing that voice.
Yes.
It was funny. He was like, well, I'm not going to do the voice, but it sounds kind of like this. And they were like, I think they said they got 4 or 5 actresses to try doing Edna mode.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them were like, we can't do that. Why don't you just do it? He's like, well, I'm directing the movie. They're like, so? We'd like the job, but you do it. And he's like, all right, you've got a point.
Which was great because that character that he did, that voice, he also used because he was one of his first TV debuts was from the 1980 series Amazing Stories.
Yeah, I was about to say.
When he did Family Dog. And I love that short. That's one of my favorite animated shorts of all time. But the character, well, premise of the thing was this poor little dog basically just living in this messed up family that love each other, but they're weird characters. Mother, father, son, daughter. And so the house gets broken into several times. And so because of that, they take the dog to a dog trainer because the dog's not protecting the homestead.
Yeah.
And so the dog trainer was Brad Bird, because Brad Bird redirected and did the short. That voice was also Brad Bird. I didn't realize that until years and years later when Edna Mode came out. And I'm just like, wait. It's like, is that the same guy? Because Brad Bird was with us, and I looked up. I was like, it is. It was him doing because he did it. Yeah. And what was the trainer's name? Oh shoot! Because it was also a just this weird looking, staunch lady with like giant grinding teeth.
Sure.
And when they brought the little dog to the training facility, it's just this big concrete block. And they open up the door, and it's just this great shadow of these 2 like giant dogs just barking and growling at each other. And they're just like the father and the dog are just standing with these horrified looks. And then she walks up to the side, and then they both do this kind of look as they look at the short little lady. And he's like, "We will train your dog to be a ruthless, terrorizing." What was the line?
It's like death machine or something.
If your dog isn't a, oh shoot, 'cause I
vaguely remember it.
Yeah. It's ruthless something something canine ball of terror. You will get a refund or get your money back. No excuses. And so she had this little poodle that she was petting the head, and she was like, "Perhaps a demonstration is in order." And she holds up the poodle, and there's her big goon assistant with this dumb look on his face, and she just goes, "Angel?" And the poodle just mauls the guy.
Marvelous.
And the guy's just screaming. And then while that's happening, she just grabs the dog and walks off. And then calls, "Angel, come." And the little poodle comes running with these sharp teeth and like the dude's pants in its mouth. Let's see, a couple messages. Delirium says, "I was thinking about getting back into writing, and you're the second person I came across this week who's working on a book. I'm getting inspired now." Right on, man. Nice.
And honestly, you should. And the reason why, and I'm going to be very, very specific about this, published or not, it doesn't matter. It matters if you want to make money, but you do these things for yourself. And sometimes you just need to get something out of your head. And you get to do it however you want. Unless you're getting it published, then you do need to be a little bit more specific. But then you should really still kind of do it how you want, but play by a few more rules. I'm not published. I'm working on doing so. I've got an editor and stuff. But ultimately speaking, I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah.
Would I like to make money? Yes, yeah. But I'm writing stories how I think they should be done, because honestly speaking, I can't beat Stephen King. I can beat earlier versions of me, though. So I'm just going to keep writing, and I'm going to keep doing art how I think it should be done, and I'm going to keep trying to beat me. Which is pretty easy, because earlier versions of me is pretty sloppy, lazy, and in many ways just intolerable by most people. I have since gotten a bit better. I mean, the fact that my lovely wife allowed me to marry her says something. I'm not sure if it says something about me or her.
Hey, I picked you, so there's something there.
There is. I hope.
Well, I should hope so. It's
I
been
hope.
like over 20 years now.
I've been tricking you for that long. Which also says something.
Thank you, Steve Urkel. I'm wearing you down, baby.
I'm wearing you down, baby.
Let's see, after that, Joe says, Edna looks like she is saying, "Don't be silly, darling. Everything I do is epically fabulous. Why do you even ask?"
Why do you even ask, darling?
Nice. James, post something, YouTube. I will get you a better copy. I'm not sure what that is, James. Let me see if I can pull it up here, because I am currently looking at our screen. Delirium says, "Makes sense. I will be doing it my way because it's how I roll. Try to
Yeah.
self-publish."
Now, if you self-publish, admittedly, you should have other people's eyes on it. Listen to their input and play by a couple rules. So you bring up the sellability of it generally. But on the same note, if it's not coming from you, other people are going to beat you at you playing their game. You are the only one that can play your game. It's just you need to learn to sell it to enough people to make it worth it. So I'm trying to write things how I would write them. But I need to make sure people understand what the heck I'm doing. So it's kind of a mix of play your own game / play the game.
Right.
Because my editor is a real actual editor and works with actual published stuffs. And she takes one look at my stuff and just goes, no, you're doing it right. Keep going. Ignore the fact that this doesn't look like everyone else's stuff. We just need to make sure that people get what you're saying. Which is very, 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 very important. Because I, on purpose, I'm writing a little differently, but I'm also not like avant-garde or something. If Stephen King is burgers and fries, I'm peanut butter and jelly. I am cheap. I enjoy writing silly adventure stories that are stereotypical, but put my own twists and spin and stuff on it, because if it's silly, everyone's seen it before, I have a lot of leeway to turn it into my thing.
Okay, well, James, he sent a copy of the one I was talking about with the dog getting sent to the train.
Oh, right on. Thanks, man.
It's just the little clip of it. So yeah, that I love that part. Yeah. See, Joe says, you need to build an audience for what you publish. Once you have people excited for your work, they make others interested in your work. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we're working on it.
Yeah.
We're doing that route.
I have, I call it 2.5 major projects. One project is I'm writing a classic sci-fi series of what happens after War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. And the other one is sort of this cheesy apocalyptic barbarians / classic hot chicks in 1950s Gitch sci-fi kind of environment. So it's like Thundar the Barbarian meets like the Dirty Pair. And it's all just cheap and tawdry and violent and action-packed and sexy. Blah, blah, blah. We've seen it 1,000 times. But I'm trying to turn stuff on its head and have fun with the action and adventure sequences. And just go in and enjoy the fact that I have lasers that go with like the energy ringlets and stuff, and you know the old action adventure barbarian paintings where everyone was naked for no apparent reason. Yeah, all my barbarians are naked. As in, they're in the story that way. So I'm like, you know what? It was in the painting that way. Let's just do it that way. And have them fighting like giant gorillas with boring drills for tusks.
I don't know why that made me laugh. It sounds like a.
It's just fun to me. Yeah.
Listen, it sounds like that line just sounded like a cry from like a mad scientist or some villain. All my barbarians are naked.
All my barbarians are naked. Just the way God wanted it to be. It is glorious. Oh, you freaking savage.
Oh, you savages.
Oh, you freaking savages.
Put on your loincloths, you savages.
But yeah, so it's I'm trying to do a series where at the beginning of it, it's stuff where very much you recognize what's happening, and I'm not trying to do anything revolutionary. And then build on it and start kind of playing with stuff you've seen before and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I'm doing it so I'm writing stories that people have fun reading it.
Yep.
And if I get too complicated or too outside the box, I think people could get lost. And my main thought is I want people to have fun. Then maybe get a little something interesting and different that I'm throwing in. Maybe give a conflict that they haven't quite seen before, and get a combination of characters that at first they think they've seen it before, but now they, oh, that's a little different. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I still want to sell books. I still want to, I still want to make some cash. I don't want to sit there out on the periphery making $5 feeling like an artiste. You know. I want to do the kind of stuff that I was raised on where I had fun with it.
Right.
And it was still commercially viable. And that's why I went to the Japanese stuff early on, because they were giving me product I hadn't seen before. You know?
Right.
Now a lot of people roll their eyes at kind of a lot of the tropes that we've seen 1,000 times out of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But for a while there, I was seeing a ton of stuff I'd never seen.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was because it was all new to us at that time. I mean,
Yeah, but even back in the 70s and 80s and stuff, there was stuff coming out that they were producing that was new.
yeah,
So a bunch of crazy stuff you'd be like, whoa, what is that? And now they're doing a lot of stuff that's, I hate to say it, it's just extremely tropish over and over. And then there's a couple really nice new things. And
let's see. Joe says, oh, John Cleese's version of Q should be opposite Edna.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Joe says John Cleese's version of Q should be opposite Edna.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. I don't do many caricatures, but maybe I should try that next time. Besides, they'd make themselves a handsome couple, netted all up, sealed in my
Let's say a couple
sketchbook
of-
forever.
I say a couple of what I couldn't tell you.
Couple of something or other. Hey.
Waggity, waggity, woo. And thanks, James, for the clip for Family Dog. That's I think I actually have that. I have it somewhere. I think on my either computer, but yeah, I would love to have a better copy because that's one of the most hardest. That's one of the more hard ones to find. 'Cause there's like very little.
Before I forget, James, I sent you a message with something in it. I'm curious if you can give me some feedback. If not, I get it. I just thought I'd mention that because I'm curious what you think.
Oh, also, yeah, happy anniversary from last week, James.
Happy anniversary. Hope you had a happy anniversary weekend there.
Let me get a copy of your DVD. Sweet. Oh, thanks, man.
Wow, we're getting free stuff.
Stuff that we like and stuff, and junk and stuff. Yeah, that was probably my Family Dog was probably one of the first cartoons that had an absolute effect on me. Of course, the ones that truly did were.
Did you say Family Guy or Family
Family Dog.
Okay, good. I was like, I think I misheard that.
Yeah, the Family Dog cartoon. That particular special had had an effect on basically on like little Sheeta when she saw that knew that's something that was special. That's something that she wanted to do as she got older. Like that. Of course, classic Warner Brothers, Tex Avery
Sure.
stuff, Tex Avery and Chuck Jones stuff, and of course classic Disney stuff. And those honestly solidified what I wanted to be when I grew up. Yeah, still when I grew up, honestly. But yeah,
I wish we didn't have to grow up. That's just.
Well,
I think it's a supreme waste of everyone's
well,
time.
that's the thing. We don't have to grow up. We mature, but we don't have to grow up.
No, but I still want to be like that snot-nosed chubby kid, but really good at cartooning.
Oh, you kind of are already still.
By God, you're right. I'm still chunky. Yeah, you got me, hon. You got me.
See? Bright side of life.
I just
dog.
got dosed by truth.
Bright side of life, it man. Gotta new drink that stuff, dog.
Truth. Drink it down. Truth. Psst. Drink it down.
Mine tastes like seltzer. Joe says, that Q will enjoy his retirement in the sketchbook in the James Bond only kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Cleese did a good job. The funny thing is, I thought there were a lot of good moments, but the later Pierce Brosnan, I just never went back to them. I'm not sure why, and I feel as if I need to go back and rewatch them to be fair. But like GoldenEye, I really enjoyed, but for whatever reason, I loved them at the time, but I just have had no want to go back to them. Even though I went back to GoldenEye, which I still think was really fun. But like the later ones, I just haven't had like the gusto to be like, next Pierce Brosnan! You know, because I think that there's, even in the theater, there's a few moments where I was like, I think what happened was, and I mean this is going to sound ridiculous. In the 80s, I wanted Madonna to do the James Bond opening song. Just one. I thought she'd be great, because she was great in
Dick Tracy?
Dick Tracy, thank you, as Breathless Mahone.
Yes.
I wanted that. And then when she did do the opening song in the Pierce Brosnan one, it was like the worst one ever done. It just sucked. And I was like, oh, it just hurt me so bad.
Well, I think it's because you're not a big fan of that particular type of music. I thought it was...
I did. I'll be honest, I wanted classic Bond with like the sexy singer kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, because when I heard that she was going to do it, I was like, oh, we're
I
gonna
was
do
all
this.
geeked, and then I got like Euro dance music, and I was like...
It was very techno pop. It was...
But the thing was, is visually it was one of the best ones, because it sort of told like this horrible torture sequence, which was awesome, but it just musically just put me off, which was a shame, because like visual wise it was really I and it might not be as great as I remember, but I remembered it being really good, as I can't keep track of which pencil is in my hand. Edna Mode and friend.
I love when she was just standing on the counter, just beating Elastigirl.
Oh, with the
newspaper.
with the
Good
newspaper.
God, woman.
Good God! That was
Pull
so
yourself
funny.
together.
I just love the whole "Go get your man and bring him home." That was so funny. I was laughing in the theater so hard. Pull yourself together.
You're Elastigirl. Go win.
What kind of question is that? You are Elastigirl. Oh, geez. When I was in the theater, I was just crying.
That look that she gave her, that just like
Total disgust.
Yeah. What to do?
Total infuriated disgust. How dare you? You are a strong woman. What are you? This is disgusting me. Oh, she killed me. She just killed me in the theater. So funny. So amazingly funny.
Oh, that was one of the best parts when she did. That was
I love it. See, I love strong female characters. I don't love strong female characters. You know, the girl power characters. They feel cheap. I love strong female characters that are really well written. That are, and not strong this way, even though that's cool too. Strong, period. I love, in Edna Mode is one of my favorites. What kind of question is this? She's beating her with a, go get your husband! Oh my god. Just slayed me. I just love Edna. And other scenes, she's hilarious and she's great, but that was one of my all-time favorite Edna scenes. What kind of question is that? So funny. So good. Pull yourself together! Oh, Edna,
You're such a savage.
Oh my god. That's who I want as a character in the new Scooby-Doo Laugh Olympics. Edna Mode.
I don't think that's going to happen, but
I don't care. This is my own little fantasy world.
I'll let you have that.
Yeah. I'm keeping Mildew Wolf, and I am replacing
Snagglepuss?
Snagglepuss. And I like Snagglepuss, but Edna Mode is funnier.
She would just completely just make them cry by railing on their outfits all the time. you, the hillbilly.
You. Moonshine.
So did you wipe to get that pattern?
Oh my god.
Everything about you is wrong. For God's sake. Even the genie over there. The plump genie. Oh, Edna. You're such a savage. I hate that genie. Fabu, or whatever his name is.
I know, what is it? It's Fabu or Babu or...
It's Babu.
It's Babu, okay.
But Fabu just makes it even better.
Fabu!
Oh man.
Fabu the genie, that's great. Whew.
Oh jeez.
Oh golly. You got me with that one, man. Congratulations. Oh, you're fabulous.
Whatever his name is. Darling, get away from the falafel cart. You've taken it too far. You passed plump and fabulous 6 months ago.
Oh, wow. I'm actually tearing up. That's good. Joe says, Edna on the same team as Blue Falcon and Dynomutt. Unstoppable. The conversation between Edna and Dynomutt.
See, I was thinking she should be one of the announcers, but her on a team, that's pretty good too. See, I actually want to replace one team being the Yogi Yahooies, and I want to keep the Scooby Doobies. But I think that the really rottens need to keep half the characters, and then bring in some profoundly off-kilter supervillains from other shows. And I'm thinking from Justice League Unlimited, like Lex Luthor. By the way, bringing also Lex Luthor in from Super Friends. And they hate each other. I think a remake of Laugh Olympics could be freaking amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
But the licensing would be a total nightmare. But I mean, I'm not talking an exact redo. I'm talking the spirit of and keeping many of the characters. But I'm also thinking the announcer character, not Snaggle and Mildew, but the announcer narrator character is the same guy that did Dr. Quest.
Yes.
I want Dr. Quest as literally the announcer on the show. Because we could bring Zinn in and just there'd be behind the scenes insanity. Now, I'm saying this purely on a ridiculous, rhetorical fanboy kind of basis. It's sort of a thought experiment as to the most bizarre, entertaining character setups, and I now have the first permanent character on this show. And it's Edna Mode. Whether she replaces Snagglepuss or is on a team, which I firmly believe should probably be the Scooby Doobies. Because
Don
you're
Messick.
right. Don
Don
Messick.
Messick, yeah.
That's right. Because some Johnny Quest characters being brought in. Yes. Because it would work with the Edna mode. Because to me, Johnny Quest, the Incredibles, and the Venture Brothers are literally all in the same reality.
Yep.
I don't care what anyone else says. That's what I believe.
Well, it already showed, like in Incredibles 2, we saw the Venture Quest
Yeah.
logo, so they're in that reality.
And they have shown the Quest characters in Venture Brothers. So we know now, period, there's no mistake. It's in this Pixar can have the Venture Brothers. I want to see Pixar do a Venture Brothers movie. Yes, bring in the Incredibles. Yes, bring in Johnny Quest. Yes, give me this highly improbable show that will never happen. Yes, give it to me, Pixar. Give it to me.
Pixar gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you.
Who's gonna give it to you? So good. So stupid. So good.
It's funny. Only if Paul Lynn was still alive could make that happen. Yeah. Yeah, Paul Lynn, yeah, his. There's a. I can't tell the story because it's pretty much R-rated, but there's a great story that John DiMaggio
Oh, that is
yeah,
so good.
told on on
It's the airplane one?
Yes, on
Oh.
Rob Paulson's Talking Tunes podcast.
You cannot repeat that on
Yeah.
the show, but it is one of the funniest, filthiest things I have ever
man,
heard.
it's Paul Lynde in the airplane story. Oh,
Paul Lynde in an airplane, losing it on a kid, and saying the most obscenely disturbing things. It is everything that the dirty little fifth grader in me laughs at.
Joe says Johnny's 40 years old. Yeah, yep, and a drug addict.
Oh yeah, no, he is so funny. He's half the time he's just in his stained underwear. He is so funny.
He's flipping his gourd.
What I love is, and of course it's true, is they show Haji on there too. And even though Haji's not so exciting anymore, Haji is, of course, a professional in a good position doing the right thing. And Johnny is a drug addict hanging out in his stained underwear half the time. It's just marvelous.
Didn't like Johnny actually did in Venture Brothers? Didn't Jonas Jr. didn't he hire him for his?
Yeah, I think he did.
Died? Yeah.
Jonas Jr. is another character we should do.
Yeah, I'll add him on the list.
Yeah, that's a good one. I always loved Jonas Jr. I just love that square-jawed hero with like the little, like, especially with the cybernetic implants, the little
You
tiny.
can give him the same dimension to Scrappy.
Him and Scrappy boxing to the death would be hilarious.
Come on, you little puppy punk.
And he's doing the kind of like, come on.
You little puppy punk, get over here.
Scrappy D. I think I'm just kind of going over lines at this point.
Yeah, look, that turned out really
It's not one of my better ones, but it's pretty good.
It turned out fun.
You know, Race Bannon dying in Venture Brothers. I hear what you're saying. However, it is Venture Brothers' job to take the piss out of everything. And so I'm actually good with it personally, but I hear what you're saying, because I like Race Bannon too. But Venture Brothers, and the creators even said it, it's not about what Johnny Quest was about, which was succeeding. Venture Brothers is about failing.
Yep.
And they said that's the theme difference between the two shows. Venture Brothers is about failing. And so, thematically speaking, it was correct for the show, but I do hear what you're saying, because I like Race Bannon too. Well, all right. Well, everyone, have yourself a good week. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We actually had quite a bit. Oh yeah, no, I just had to scoop stuff up. No, I just had to kind of thank everyone. We had a lot more people than we normally do. It was nice.
and getting some fun conversation. So yeah, thank you guys
Exactly.
for the combos and
It's exactly what I'm wanting. I don't, every once in a while we kind of talk about some, slightly more complex stuff, but mostly I just want to have fun on the show.
and thanks for our visitor, because I know we've had him on before. I think
The name
Yeah.
does sound familiar, but I'm not.
He's popping. I think he's popping a couple times before. So thanks for popping in again.
Yeah, he
and,
said he was lurking, and that's awesome. Because to be perfectly honest, I think people should just
Yeah, lurking's fine.
live how they want to live, and lurking to me, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong at all. Yeah, I can entirely. Yeah, you Delirium, have yourself a good time. Do whatever you want. You don't have to say anything. You want to say something, totally cool. They did kind of run the joke into the ground, but it was early Venture Brothers. They were kind of getting their mix right. It's like I have criticisms of all shows, including ones I really like, and including Venture Brothers. So, but yeah. Anyways, y'all have yourself a good week. We will be back next time. I've got a couple ideas. One of which is the John Cleese idea. It's not bad. I'm also thinking Jonas Jr. being opposite of Edna Mode could be pretty funny too. I'll figure it out. Anywho.
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone have yourself a good week. We